So today we are going to discuss the hands-on experience that we can have with building on Ethereum. Yes, we are going to look at events like building our first dApps, building smart contracts, and yes, having the beginner hands-on. Our applications are only going to use the basic programming languages, that's HTML, CSS, a bit of Solidity, and then we see how we bring all these together. So yesterday we had our introductory session. If you didn't have it, you can look it up on the Central Code YouTube channel. But today we are having another session, and we are diving one step further into diving deep into Ethereum. So today we are also going to use this. Tomorrow we might use half of this and then half of another code, because there is a lot of code that is being tested. Yes, tomorrow there is also some things that are being programmed to make sure that we receive a deep dive into Ethereum as the course says. Okay, so building your first dApp on Ethereum, we are going to follow this. So this is a step-by-step tutorial on how to create a simple front-end website, create and deploy a Solidity smart contract, and connect them together. We will be using MetaMask, Remix IDE, and Ethers.js. Yes, by the end of this tutorial, you will be able to create a simple front-end with 2 buttons that can interact with smart contract functions. This tutorial takes place in 3 stages. 1, create a basic HTML web page, and 2, and so okay, you're most welcome. So yes, as we have said, today we are diving a deep further into the Ethereum deep dive. Yes, to those that were not here yesterday, we had an introductory session where we talked about Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3, and all these things. So today we are mainly looking at how we can build something that is basic, that is a Web 3 platform. We are going to get from there and go deep. So we are again using this. So build your first dApp on Ethereum. Yes. So with this, we are going to look at mainly using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and things that a beginner programmer knows and can understand very well. So hopefully everyone gets to learn from this. So this is a step-by-step tutorial on how to create a simple front-end website. Let me try to see if, okay, someone has some sound, but we can keep continuing. Okay, hopefully everything is now okay. So build your first decentralized application on Ethereum. This is a step-by-step tutorial on how to create a simple front-end website, create and deploy a Solidity smart contract, and connect them together. We'll be using MetaMask, Remix IDE, Ethers. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to create a simple front-end with 2 buttons that can interact with smart contracts. Okay, so I think everyone is following, so I'm taking us through this. By the way, if for example you've not gotten this very well, you can come back to this tutorial and then go through it yourself. Okay, So prerequisite, download and set up MetaMask if you don't have it already. So for those that don't have MetaMask, you can download it. We downloaded and installed MetaMask yesterday. So this is what MetaMask is. We are also going to use test tokens, so you need to have test tokens. And so on. Alright. So those that would need test tokens, you could request in the comments, and yes, we shall send you test tokens for today. Okay. So you must have a light server. Hopefully people are connected to their computers. So a light server, you just set your terminal. If you are using Windows, you open your CMD, and then paste this to install the light server, which is npm install -g light server. So after installing your light server, this will help you. We are going to install ours here. So we are going to follow a step-by-step guide to build our first DApp. Those who are familiar with HTML, CSS, yes, this is going to be a very good place to follow. Okay. All right. So after that, create first thing. The first thing we will do is build out a basic web page. Create a new folder in your computer and open that folder in your code editor. So if you're using Sublime Text, if you're using Notepad++, you can create a folder. I'm going to create one on the home page. Okay. I'm using Linux, so have Ethereum dev here. Let me create the central code session 2. And then we create one. So in the central code, we open terminal, and so for me, I use Visual Studio Code. So you could be using maybe another IDE, whatever IDE you are using, that's what you can go with. Okay, so I think this one is complete. So here, this is my editor. Open that folder in your code editor. Inside that folder, create a new file called index.html and open that in your code editor. Okay, so each HTML page has some basic boilerplate we need to write to tell the web browser that an HTML document. So yeah, this is what we are going to do next. From here, if you are running also Visual Studio, you start with index.html. So yes, if you've learned something about HTML, so if you're having Visual Studio Code, when you put this symbol, Then you click here, it brings the skeleton where we have the head, the title, and the body. So the head, I'm going to call it the central code. Central code 2. Okay. Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes, you are excused.
Do you mind if you use a white background?
A white background.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Here. Is it under preferences? Preferences, themes. I don't know whether it is color theme. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine now.
Okay. Hope the words are visible. Alright. Thank you. So we continue. Okay. So we continue. We've created our HTML page, and title, we have given it a type of body, so we are going to write in the body. So inside the body tag, we will start writing the rest of the code. The smart contract we create will be very simple, just reading and writing a value to and from the testnet on the Ethereum blockchain. So let's create a text box and a few buttons on the page. So update your body tag to look like. So here we are going in the body, we are going to add in these. We can type them, but for the sake of time, let me just copy them. I'm also going to leave this code in the pad. So the pad can only be accessed if you're using Firefox. So if you want to access the pad in real time, this pad, this space, where there is all these links, this is the link. So let me put the link in the comments. In the comment section. So you can access the pad anytime, even after here. And yes, right. So we have finished putting some things in div tags. We have div h1 paragraph label. So this is the structure of HTML. So we can also write some CSS. So this is optional, but inside the head we are going to put everything in one file so that it is beginner friendly. So style, if you want to add style, you either link your style sheet in the head or you put your CSS directly in the head tag. So the head tag starts from here and ends here. Okay, so this is where central code session 2. Okay. So with that, we have put our CSS. So this CSS is for styling buttons, styling the body and the divs. So I think we can leave it at that. Then we continue. Now save this file and navigate to the folder where this index file is through your terminal. Once you are there, run the following tag. So you can run this light server in two ways. If you use so this is where my index.html is. If you used any other code editor, you can come here and open terminal, or if you are using Windows, you can come here and then write cmd and then run the command. So let me do both ways. If I open terminal here in that file and run light server, so the server starts. Or you can run directly if you're using Visual Studio Code in the code editor. So when the server starts, you see this is already fired up, but I want to run this in Chrome because that's where I have my extension. Okay, so it seems it is running. So that's the first way. The other way could be you close it from here and then you open terminal here. You can say terminal, new terminal. And you start it in there. Okay. So if everything set up properly, your web page shows now is accessible. Yeah. We have our boilerplate front-end website ready. Okay, is it ready? Okay, let's see. Okay, we had not saved. So when we save the file and reload again, so this is our application. So our small starter application is ready, and we are going to interact with this application or with this web page using Web3 in a Web3 manner. Okay. So now we are going to go and work on our smart contract. So as we talked about yesterday, that Ethereum uses smart contracts, and smart contracts are programs that, if programmed, do not change or are not changeable. So a piece of code that when you deploy on the blockchain will not change, and it will do what it says it does. Yes. So as we looked yesterday, whenever you are programming in Solidity, you start with this. Start with declaring the license. Pragma is the way you declare the Solidity version, and then contract, the contract name. It's like the way you declare classes. So this contract is going to have a few lines: string mode, function set mode, this, and then we continue. So this contract is going to be called mode.sol, and we can have this. We are going to use Remix. Remix is an online IDE. So IDE is a developer environment. You can also launch your remix. So you go to remix.ethereum.org. Okay. And now I don't know the settings to make remix's background white, but so I can first make this stop so that this is how a remix looks like. I don't know how to make it background white, but hopefully it is visible. So we can create a file from here, a folder. This is the space for the folder, search, and so on. So we are going to create a smart contract that we are going to deploy and then interact with the deployed smart contract from our application. Okay. So for this, I'm going to create a folder called Decentra code. I think and within this folder, I'm going to create a file called mode.sol. Okay, so we are going to copy this contract. It's a small contract. So they always give you this question that, are you okay with this code? You say okay. If you are familiar with the code. So if we look through the contract very well, I will start by declaring the Solidity version that we are using. So we are using 0.8.19. The contract name, mode array, string, mode. So we shall set the mode by instantiating this mode with the mode for this, and then we shall also get the mode by what we have set. Okay, so to make sure that this works, you come to the right, and then here you must first of all make sure that this is the same version as this, 0.8.19. so 0.8.22.19. you can put on auto compile or not, and also make sure that here in the environment you have the injected provider. Injected provider will be your MetaMask. So it's bringing my MetaMask network. My Sepoli, I have 3.63 ETH. Yes, on my network. Okay. So if you want to compile, you click on this tab which has Solidity and then compile. So if a tick comes here, that means that your code is okay. Then now you can deploy your code. So once we deploy this code, it will not, no one will be able to change it. So deploy. Okay, someone wants to join. So we're deploying. So hopefully we have deployed. Okay, so we confirm the transaction. Gas confirm. Okay, so as the deployment is being confirmed, we are waiting for that transaction. So yes, here the code, our contact address is here, and we are going to interact with the address and the ABI, which will be found here, ABI or bytecode. Okay, so when we go back to what we are following, so we have finished deploying. We have set it to Sepolia, and then connect your web page and connect your web page to your smart contract. So we are going to this to make sure that our web page can talk with the smart contract. So to enable this, we shall use ethers.js. Yeah. So at the beginning or end of your HTML file, import ethers.js library. So we are going to import this, and this mainly goes in the head of our page. Okay. So this is the one that we use to integrate ethers.js. Then the other one will go in our body. So this is the script that we are going to use to make sure that we interact. I think we are going to put this almost at the end. This is because we want it to load last. Okay, so this shows that this is a comment for those who are just beginning. That's yeah. So inside the second script tag, assign your contract address and contract ABI to the relevant variables. So we have this contract address and then contract ABI, as we saw from Remix. So Remix, as we've seen, is an online editor. So here for the contract address, we come and we copy our deployed contract address. And then contract ABI. Okay, we have copied it, and so this is how the contract ABI often looks like. It's like a JSON form. It is in form of a JSON format. Looks like a JSON format. So we have this open, So we have like two functions, one will be for the set and the other will be for the get. Okay, let's complete this. So if you're wondering what contract ABI is, see this section on Solidity's documentation. Was again in depth, but we have talked about this. So we have this. This is what I've been explaining. Okay, each object inside the array have the following field: constant, inputs, name, output. We can so inputs, name, inputs, name, outputs. Yeah, that's what is being described here. Okay, for get mode, we describe each field below. Right, so this is here the contract address. Next in your code, define a Web3 provider. Now we have to have a provider. Provider is what will enable us to communicate with the MetaMask when we want to set something or communicate to read. Okay, so for this we are using Sepolia. Const provider equals new ethers.provider. So this is the way you instantiate a communication with your wallet, yeah, using ethers. So you can also open the ethers documentation and go through it. Okay, so request access to the user's wallet and assign the values to this. So provider, so when you want to request access to your wallet, maybe when you're making transactions, as we saw, I use mainly a provider. Okay, let me first complete this and then can keep going through it. And then now that we have a signer and mode contract, we can create two functions for calling the two smart contracts. Two smart contract functions, not two smart contracts. So we are going to create the functions like the way you create functions in JavaScript, because this is an ABI that looks like a JSON. So these are the functions. We have a set and a get function. The get is for getting the mode and the set is for setting the mode. Okay. Hopefully this will work. Alright, I think now it's time. So finally update your buttons such that you have the on click get mode. So we can go back to the buttons and see. So buttons on click, yes, we have the get mode function. So this get mode will trigger this function that we have called here, and get mode awaits for the mode contract and the get mode function that is in the mode contract. We know that the mode contract from what we've deployed is this. Yeah, so this is the contract mode diary, but in the naming it's called mode.so. Okay, contract mode diary, so string mode. So this is the function set mode and get mode. Okay, we can first run this and then see. So to run this, we start our server with the command light server and then see if it is running well. But even before running that, we can test our smart contract from here. So if I click on this, if I make this bigger, so you have the set mode and get mode. So if I click on get mode, there's nothing because I've not given a string to this mode. But maybe if I put let me say session 2, because we are inputting a string, and we say set mode. So whenever we are writing, we said whenever we are writing to a smart contract, we have to incur gas. When we are reading, it's free, but if we want to change the state of the smart contract, then there is gas incurred. So when you click on set mode, your wallet will pop up for you to make that transaction. Confirm. Okay, so we are confirming. If you want to see your transactions, they are usually on if you're on the testnet, and they're on Sepolia. Okay, so in case I think here, let me reduce this back to the size. Okay, now it is too small, but here down there is there's a proof, so I can view on Etherscan that my transaction has been successful. So if I click on it, I can view it on Etherscan. Okay, success for the transaction. So this is how we have performed the transaction. So if I go back to my remix and I say get mode, I'll now get this string, which is session 2. Okay, so this is what we want to replicate on our application by communicating with this smart contract that we have deployed. So this smart contract is unique because this is the contract that we've used. You can also use this same way to interact with other smart contracts, but let's now first look at how we can do this. We open up our terminal and run light server, enter. So our server started. I think let me check it out here. Localhost 300. So we are making the app in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If now we say get mode, it must show us. Let me go and first save. Okay. get mod. Let me try D centrapod. I think everything is alright. So let me try this with this. So I don't know why it has refused to run, since I had done it before. Let me try to run it. So let me comment that and paste this that I had run to see if it sets and gets the mod. Okay, so now this one gets the mod. So I really don't know the error that was in this previous code, but I'm going to paste this code in the pad. So for those of you asking where the pad is, here on the meat, if you go here in there is a pad. This, when you go in the comments, so you can come and copy this code and play around with your own smart contract. You change the smart contract. Let me show you where you change from. So you change. Okay, I think I've gotten the error. The error is that I might not have put this. So let me first undo this. I might not I've put my smart contract in quotation, in quotes. That could be it. So I could first delete this. So as we are seeing, it's getting the mood from the contract that we deployed. Okay, now let's do the setting. So the issue was the double quotes that I had not put my smart contract in quotation. So the central code, okay, now when we get the mood, we are going to get the new deployed if it has been deployed. One of the things that shows that has not been deployed is that my MetaMask is asking me to approve a transaction here. Okay, this is taking some time. So whenever you are setting the mood, you are writing to the smart contract, you're changing the state, and then that means that you require gas. But to get the mood, you absolutely don't require anything. I think now the new mood has been set to the central code. Okay, so we are finished with this. We have some other sessions that we are going to do, and then tomorrow we shall look at oracles and dive deep into oracles with Chainlink. Okay, so there is another example that I would love to take on. Hopefully this one, yes. So you have to tweak around with it, and let me give you this code. So I'm going to paste this code in that rise up, so you can go and check it out, and then you play around with it. Okay, so this will be for tomorrow. So for those who want to play around with the code to see how you can fully interact with your smart contract, and even with that you can interact with other smart contracts that are deployed, because smart contracts that are deployed always have an ABI. Yeah. Okay. So we go to our second last. We are still practicing smart contracts, Ethereum, and so on. Alright. So tomorrow we might partially, or we might not even be using this platform, or we might partially use it. I wanted to make sure that everyone is on board. So we are finished building our DApp. We can build our own cryptocurrency. So that means that we want to build an ERC20 token, our own token. Can go through this quickly. So an ERC stands for Ethereum request for comment. Essentially, they are standards that have been approved by the community and end user and are used to convey technical requirements and specifications for certain use cases. ERC20 specifically is a standard which outlines the technical specifications of fungible tokens. Fungible token is one in which all parts of the token are the same. So that means that this is unexchangeable for one-to-one, like fiat is exchangeable. Exchanging one ETH for a different one ETH doesn't change anything. You will still have one ETH. Therefore, ETH is fungible token. All fiat currencies are fungible as well. NFTs are examples of non-fungible tokens. So they are called non-fungible because there could exist one of its kind in terms of its metadata. Okay. So prerequisite for building must have MetaMask, Sepolia, a request for Ethereum, for some. So you can request for Sepolia from this link. Okay. So tomorrow we shall be using link as a token, so you need to have link, but I also do my best to provide DA link where you can request. So today you can get Sepolia from that. Okay. So the code, so we write ERC20 tokens. We can use the OpenZeppelin library to help us. So there is what we call the OpenZeppelin wizard, whereby it helps you write code. But if you're good and are getting very well conversant with Solidity, the better, because ERC20 tokens have very many components in them. So it's better if you can really edit through the code. Okay. We are going to import this OpenZeppelin. So OpenZeppelin library is very crucial in writing most of the smart contracts. And let's so inside this Decentra code we are going to write we can name the token DCD token.sol. So .sol is the extension for Solidity. So when you look at this error, require different compiler version. So that means that we are on a different compiler version. So to change our compiler version, we come here, 0.8.19. Okay, it requires 8.20. So if it is this, then that means that we also have to change this. Yes, so this CD is ERC. So ERC20, this is the standard for the token. Alright, so now we don't have any error. So whenever you have an error, you can hover or move your cursor around it and then see. So we can do compile. So this tick shows that we have our all our code safe. So when you look at this contract, this is going to be the DCD is ERC20. So this is going to be the the contract name, and then we have a constructor. So we are going to start by minting 10 times 10, that's 100 tokens. So Ethereum is always to 18 decimal places, so we are going to have 100 tokens of our token, like 100 of our token. Okay, so we can compile. When you are going to compile, you have to make sure that it is injected and you're on Sepolia. So then you deploy. You're going to deploy, sorry. So before we deploy, we need let me cancel. So the way this contract has been declared, it has been declared where we shall put the symbol for our token. So here, while in deployment, when you increase this, so you see the name and the symbol. So the name is going to be called Decentra code, and here we shall have this CD. Okay, then we can deploy. So MetaMask pops up for us whenever we are deploying, whenever we are writing to a smart contract, we incur a cost. Confirm. And then here down we have the creating. Yes. So tomorrow we are going to dive deep into ERC20 tokens. We are going to look at off-chain oracles, like how we use link to determine the prices of our token, how we can automate our token. So that is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be an in-depth session on that. Okay, so our contract is indexing, but I think it is deployed. Success. Alright, so now you can interact with, you can actually add your token to your you can add this token to your wallet. So it is here, DCD, and you copy and then come to your wallet. Tokens, let me dismiss here, and here you can import tokens. So if I put the contract address, that's the deployed contract address, you see that the symbol is already coming and the token decimal places. So anyone with my address can import my token, import, and since I minted this, so I have 10 DCD. Okay, so here the person who's supposed to mint is the message.sender, who is the one that deployed. So it's me that deployed, so the right to mint is given only to me. So let me say, if I go here, I can transfer, I can mint, I can look at the total supply and things like that. Where do these methods come from? These methods come from the import from OpenZeppelin. This import from OpenZeppelin that imports an interface of the ERC20 token. Okay. So, any questions? I think for today we can stop there and call it a moment. Then we shall come back tomorrow as we conclude. Yes?
Okay. Maybe you will share the link for registration of the hackathon of Saturday to Mindbox.
Okay. Let me share it with you right now. Should I put it in the comments?
No, you can send it to my WhatsApp. This is the...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Same day.
Okay.